course you're playing Forza because that's what you do. You play Forza. You play Forza when you're supposed to be recording a podcast. Much like you was playing what's that other game on the Switch? Look at him playing Shovel Knight on the Switch. Such a traitor. Such a traitor, yo. He's a traitor, Joe. This is true. You right. Well, that makes sense.
Okay. Isn't there a separate Windows version, not just a Java? Is. Yeah, so that version's going to work with it, right?
Yeah, the Windows 10 version is going to work with it. The Xbox version is going to work with it, but not the Xbox 360 version of it. So it's pretty much just the Switch, all the mobiles, Windows Mobile, Windows 10, Windows Mobile, Android, iOS, and then there's
Optimus Prime version.
And then, obviously, and then there's the Windows 10 version that'll work. So there's that. There's that. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? You caught us in the middle of a conversation talking a little bit about Minecraft.
I'm playing Forza.
And Keith is playing Forza and Aaron's playing Shovel Knight. Yeah, that's the thing. He has his Pro Controller and everything. I'm Clinton Bowman. And you are live with us with the Xbox Xperience episode number 24.
Yo, can we change it to the Xbox One X experience?
I mean, if we acronize it, turn it to an acronym, it'll still be Xbox.
Can we just call it the Microsoft? I can't even talk now. Microsoft ecosystem.
We just call ourselves the Microsoft Experience from now on.
The Microsoft Experience.
And just the Xperience.
So just call us me.
And I'll just essentially, the me podcast. Yo, terrible dreams of Windows me, right?
We got the Wii, the Wii U, and the me.
Yo, so Keith, E3, man, y'all came back from E3 just a couple days ago.
Was it a couple of days ago? It doesn't feel like it.
About a week ago. Oh, about a little more than a week ago.
It's been a couple of days.
It's been a couple of days. It hasn't been a week yet.
It feels like that, right?
It does.
It feels like we were there for months.
I haven't. I got a game review to finish up. I got another one. I got to start. I'm behind on articles. My brain is not working.
Yep.
And you got to do the needful.
And we got to do the needful. Yeah. In the timely.
So check this out. We got a lot to talk about, ladies and gentlemen. I feel like I always say that, but we definitely do have a lot to talk about. So let's start talking about E3. Now, we're talking mostly on the Xbox and the PC side of things. So if you want to hear more about PlayStation stuff, you just have to wait to hear about Dragonball FighterZ and Monster Hunter Worlds, which is also on PC and Xbox One.
Not Switch.
But not the Switch. Sorry.
I feel bad for Switch owners. I have a Switch.
Isn't that a rumor? It could be.
But let's be real. Capcom actually said that there's no plans for releasing Monster Hunter XX in America.
Oh, I was talking about Dragon Ball, not Monster Hunter.
Yeah, we were talking about that at work today. So Switch owners got screwed.
Mm-hmm.
I guess Capcom was really serious about that.
American Switch owners got screwed. Think about it.
Technically, you can import it, but again, there's a lot of
There's no English. Yeah, there's no English support if I understand correctly.
Nope, none.
So
it'll run though.
It'll run.
Yeah, it'll run.
So if you're fluent in Japanese, then all for you.
Yeah, but here's the thing though. That a lot of people don't seem to not understand. Like, if, for instance, we do end up getting the people do start importing it at a mass rate, whether or not they can read Japanese or not, because game FAQs is still a thing, as well as other websites. I can almost definitely see Capcom coming around and saying, you know what, we're just going to release the American copy of the game.
I don't see that happening. No.
I mean, it's a possibility, but this is
I
Capcom.
see the same thing happening with Fanstar Online, what they're doing with Monster Hunter. Just because, one, they probably think Monster Hunter isn't that big in the States, which it isn't really, as much as I hate to admit that.
It's 35. It's only sold 35 million worldwide, 36 million worldwide, so that doesn't even
It's a niche title.
It's a very niche title, yeah.
Yeah, but at the same time, we got to go back to that whole thing Capcom said, like, oh, Street Fighter doesn't sell well, then, we got to think our Switch strategy.
So, but that's the problem.
Monster Hunter will sell in Japan. There's no questions about that.
But here's the problem with that. Here's the problem with that logic, and I'll give it to you straight up. Capcom was not thinking properly. Oh, we're gonna hinge it on the sales of Street Fighter, but it's how old Street Fighter title?
Oh, I agree.
2000, like 2 decades old, as old as the Tekken series, and it's
no, I agree. I agree 100%. That was a bad decision by Capcom, but it's Capcom.
I mean, speaking of Capcom, we're getting Monster Hunter Worlds on the Xbox One, as well as on PC, but PC at a later date. How do you feel about that? It's the first American Monster Hunter title to make it to an Xbox console, because obviously I'm still bitter at Capcom for not releasing Monster Hunter Online on the Xbox 360.
Stop being bitter.
I mean, I could, but it doesn't, abate my vitriol for, Capcom being stupid. I'm just saying, until they give me Phoenix Wright on the Switch, sorry, like, go fuck yourselves.
Wow, listen to that language. It's supposed to be, PG-13.
Fuck, it's
you
not.
You don't say that once.
I wasn't told that. I didn't get that note.
I didn't get the fucking memo.
There's 2. I lost our rating.
That was 3.
That's it. Shut it down. It's all over.
It's over. No, but Monster
Hunter
World.
FTC not try coming to the Switch though.
So we're getting getting Monster Hunter Worlds. So Monster Hunter Worlds is coming out. I know you weren't at the Sony conference when this was announced, but I know what conference you were at when this other game got announced. Dragonball FighterZ.
Yeah, we were. I'll let Aaron talk since he is Mr. FanFest. He was.
I am Mr. FanFest. Up front. I witnessed the most powerful console ever, as the back of the shirt says. No, that game. So, Keith, I think you had mentioned there was a rumor or a leak like a couple days before the show where somebody talked about there was going to be a new Dragon Ball fighter. I missed that. I didn't hear that rumor. So when that came up during the presentation, like it was out of nowhere for me. Like I had no idea it was coming. That game looks phenomenal, and it is a lot of fun to play. And I'm terrible at fighting games, and I still had a lot of fun playing that.
The rumor came out from Reddit, and then it was on NeoGAF.
It wasn't even that much of a rumor. It was a spec sheet, a Japanese spec sheet.
It was a Japanese spec sheet, but it wasn't a lot of stuff. It wasn't a lot of information relayed in that.
Most Bandai Namco spec sheets don't have a lot of information anyway.
Not really. That's not necessarily true. But the problem was, it's really, really easy for you to make something fake, and it's it's real. We got fooled with the Switch, 3D printing, and all that cool stuff. So people were a little hesitant to believe that, and then it came out, hey, Dragon Ball FighterZ, launching on Xbox, and everybody went, oh my god, Dragon Ball, and then we finally got the E3, and got a chance to actually play it.
Yep, we got some hands-on with it.
Right,
and it's fun. It's a lot of fun.
So I've had a lot of issues. I've heard a lot of complaints about this. I've heard more positive things than complaints. But there are some complaints from people from the outside looking in, saying that this game is gonna, if you want a game with no depth, play this game.
Well, I will tell them that they're idiots. This is coming from Arc Systems. If they've never played an Arc System game, BlazBlue, Guilty Gear, these games have tons of substance. They have tons of characters. They have really easy, I would say, easy accessibility as far as fighting mechanics go. But yet they're really deep as well, depending on how far you want to go with the game. I've never played an Arc System game that was dull or not impressive.
Except Guilty Gear Judgment, because that was terrible. That was terrible
okay.
Game.
But their big entries have always been good. And this is something that Bandai Namco has been really pushing. We talked to the guy, and I was like, hey, how hard was this to keep this game under wraps? And the guy's like, yeah, we had this for a while.
Yeah, they had that on lockdown.
Really, really tempting to talk about it, but we really couldn't. And they were really proud of that game. And again, for somebody, I mean, I'm not Maximilian. Maximilian over YouTube's got a lot of good stuff about the game. He's played multiple sessions, multiple people. He's collaborated a lot. But from what the hands-on we had, it's fast and it's slow. It depends on how you play, because Aaron and John you guys had a fast match. Mm-hmm. But part of the match, you guys were running away. You were trying to stay away from John. And then when me and John started playing, we kind of did the same thing until I got an understanding of the buttons, because every character plays differently. Gohan is not a long-range character. It's young Gohan, so he's more of an up-in-your-face character.
Right.
The launchers where you could do a certain attack and you launch them into the air and you pursue them. The pursue button, which lets you get up and personal really fast. The specials, the meter, You know, it depends on how many attacks you have. And every character has a signature move. They actually have, well, not signature move, I take it back. They have their attacks you would see in the anime, but they also have two super moves. For example, Boo got I forgot one of his, but it's other one he has, he turns you into a piece of chocolate.
Turns into a cookie,
and that's like, what? No, that game is, people are going to be really surprised when that game comes out.
From what I understand, Gohan level 5, he has the family Kamehameha as a level 5 super.
Somebody said that.
Maximilian put up the video up.
There you go.
Where it stated he has the level 5. Obviously, Frieza's level 3 super is becoming Golden Frieza.
Yeah, I don't understand that because it's Dragon Ball FighterZ, which symbolizes Dragon Ball Z, but that's from Dragon Ball Super.
Well, there's gonna be a bunch of stuff that's gonna be a bunch of stuff that's coming from Super. I almost guarantee you. Like, I have a funny feeling that we're gonna be seeing Beerus, we're gonna be seeing Whis.
I don't think we should see Beerus. He's overpowered. I mean, if he's like a boss character or something, then yeah. But now as a
we might see. We definitely might end up seeing like Dabura or.
You know what? You know what? Not to cut you off, I only care about Piccolo and Future Trunks.
I'll be honest. I kind of want Adult Gohan in the game. Adult Gohan. Actually, Mr. Satan. Why? Because it's Mr. Satan.
Like that would be amusing at least.
It'd be amusing.
Because you like playing as Dan anyway.
Well, yeah. I mean, I could whoop your ass as Dan, but I'm just saying, if I was playing serious, I'd be playing as Guile, Dudley, or Alex. I'm just saying. You know, play me in Street Fighter 5, which I don't really play anymore, and I'll be playing as Alex.
You said you got bored of the game. We don't play it anymore, remember?
Hey, I'm having more fun with Tekken. Yo, Tekken's so good. Tekken's so good. Monster Hunter Worlds, though. Let's go back to Monster Hunter Worlds real quick. And
what are we flip-flopping? Come on now.
No, let's go back, and then we're going to go into the other games that came out of E3, because I know we did talk a lot about that last week on the Xbox Experience Live. Not live, but the Xbox Experience I did with Josh and Carl. But I want to get to that. I said Josh and Carl.
Oh, I thought you said Josh. Like Josh, what?
And I want to just get your thoughts on this. So Monster Hunter Worlds, when you saw it at the PlayStation conference, and then we got the word that it's not a PlayStation exclusive game. It's coming to PC soon, but it will be coming to Xbox One and Xbox One X. Do you think that this is going to be an Xbox One X, enhanced game, first of all? Second of all, do you think that this is going to be the definitive Monster Hunter experience?
No. They've already came out and said that they're doing some things in this game that they haven't done in other Monster Hunters because they want to kind of differentiate it from the other Monster Hunter games, which is why this one doesn't have a number on it.
Right.
So this won't be Monster Hunter 5. It'll just be like an offshoot of Monster Hunter. It's still too early. There was a stream today. I didn't watch it. I need to probably watch it tomorrow and catch up what they did. But they did at least say that, and this is obvious, but for Xbox and PlayStation, you will need to have an Xbox Live or a PlayStation membership to play the game online, which makes obvious sense. But some people will be like, "Oh, why you got to pay to go online?" Because it's an online game, you have to pay to go online.
You might as well buy yourself a PC if you don't want to pay to go online. I'm just saying.
It's funny because
you still pay.
Yeah, you still.
It's your internet bill.
Yeah, but they haven't said anything about needing an Xbox Live account to play games. But if you look at Age of Empires, which got announced at E3 for the PC, that will be using Xbox Live to play the game online. So I'm not saying that it's not going to be paid for, but it's a possibility that they could do something like that. I don't see it happening.
And shouts out to Aaron's wife, Kitty, who just happened to pop in the stream.
She just came in for a second. She just came home. So
yeah.
Hello, Kitty.
That's one of our editors on the site.
Yep. At least she didn't come in and smack you upside the head. My wife would have did that.
No, she brought me grapes. Yeah, grapes.
Oh, shook it now. No, but like Aaron, your thoughts on Monster Hunter Worlds? I mean, I don't know if you played a Monster Hunter game before.
So yeah, no, I gotta be honest. I've never played a Monster Hunter game before.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah, I did. I know. I've been meaning to.
Get your ass a PlayStation 2 and go play Monster Hunter 1 now.
Go play it on the Wii.
On the Switch, on 3DS.
So that's the thing. The only opportunities I had to play were the Wii and the 3DS, I guess, and I missed it on both of those systems. But I have a friend who's pretty into the series, and it sounded like he really was not a fan of either of those versions. So it sounded like all these non-PlayStation versions were kind of not up to snuff.
Well, here's the thing about the PlayStation version. The PlayStation version only had ad hoc wireless. Outside of the PlayStation 2 versions.
Yeah.
The PlayStation 2 versions, you can actually go online with those.
Okay.
The the PSP versions, you couldn't go online with those at all, other than playing ad hoc with friends.
So
and
local
you
wireless,
had to actually modify your PlayStation Portable to play infrastructure mode with it, because there was an additional program that went with it. This was a point of contention with Capcom and the PlayStation Portable user base, which I honestly think also was one of the things that did lead to the downfall of the PSP, was boneheaded decisions from Sony and
I was going to say,
boneheaded decisions on a lot of sides with this console. So, with the moves to the Wii for Monster Hunter 3, and you got the online play, and then you got Monster Hunter on the 3DS, and then another Monster Hunter on the Wii U, and all that extra stuff. You started to really see, the online play just like flourish, and the game become way more popular in the United States.
But I will say, let's jump off this, but I will say that I'm glad that Monster Hunter has made the jump from the handhelds over to mainstream consoles
or return to mainstream.
Well, okay, return, but not many people remember the Monster Hunter games back on the PlayStation 2 or the Monster Hunter that was out in Japan for Xbox 360 and PC. Remember that? Monster Hunter Frontier, was it?
Online? It was just called Monster Hunter Online.
I thought it was called Monster Hunter Frontier.
I think one of them was called Frontier.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of them was called Frontier. I know one of them was called Online. So, yeah. It was Frontier Online. That's what it was called.
You sure? Let me look it up. Now I gotta know.
No, I gotta know. It was Monster Hunter.
I gotta know. Yeah, Monster Hunter Frontier.
Right, Monster Hunter Frontier was on the Xbox 360.
And then they had, Monster Hunter's Xbox 360 Frontier. Yeah, Monster Hunter Frontier.
Yeah, it was called Frontier Online, yeah. But other than that, I mean, you didn't really get that. It kind of like tripped people up. That really tripped people up to a degree. The hell, Keith? Anyways.
It's dance party time.
It's a phone back there. I gotta go get it now.
Let's go.
Is it the Needful calling again?
As Keith gets the phone, Aaron, let's move on to some other games as Keith, and we'll return. Oh,
is that a phone? That looked like a tablet.
It's a tablet.
Yeah.
It's Keith's tablet.
Oh. Somebody calling him?
But nonetheless.
Here's a reminder for something. He's 8 years old. What does he need a reminder for?
Hey, when you got the 80 and the HD, you gotta remind yourself of things.
Reminder to catch Nicktoons in the morning.
No, but on the real though, like other games that came out obviously coming out for the PC, one of the biggest titles to come out and the prettiest titles to come out, as you guys said, Destiny 2.
That looks so good. I'm so excited.
I'm gonna let you guys geek out on Destiny 2, which by the way, ladies and gentlemen, if you do manage to pick up an NVIDIA GeForce GTX 1080 or 1080 Ti, I believe by June 27th, you can get yourself a free copy of Destiny 2. So if you're trying
I sold one of my 1080s and picked up a Ti.
If, ladies and gentlemen, you are trying to step up through EVGA, they're all back ordered. So you might as well just go to whatever store you got it from, get back the old card you had, and get a new card with the extra money you would have spent anyway.
eBay that stuff, guys, because people are buying them on eBay like crazy. It will sell.
Yep.
You figure 580, Jesus Christ, RX 580s. Whoa. Okay, the GTX 1080s are still like $550 new.
About $530, depending on what you get.
You can sell yours for $480 to $500 and eat the extra $200 to buy a Ti. If you want it, I don't recommend anybody going on eBay and buying a 1080 Ti or a 1080 because you won't get Destiny. Now, if you don't care about Destiny,
or Amazon, ladies and gentlemen,
go ahead and get it. Amazon's not doing the deal. You cannot get Destiny from Amazon.
Well, yeah, obviously because of the debacle that they had before. Remember that?
Right, and that was kind of pissed me off because I saw a really cheap 1080 Ti on there, and it was like, oh wait, Amazon's not doing it anymore. So, blah blah.
What was the debacle? I missed that.
The debacle was with Gears of War, where they were just giving away multiple copies of Gears of War if you pre-ordered it, basically. So if you just pre-ordered it, you got, I believe it was the 980 Ti, I think it was.
It was one of them. But basically, people were buying them, getting the codes, selling the codes and canceling their pre-order.
So what happened? Nvidia just like basically annihilated all those codes. Yeah, they annihilated all those codes and just said, "Nah, you're not gonna be able to get those codes anymore."
Wow.
They're like, "Nah, son, that ain't happening. Sorry."
So if you had it on Xbox One or Windows 10, you couldn't play the game anymore.
Yep, they were like revoked.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was a big issue with that one, but I'm gonna let you two geek out about Destiny 2. Keith, Aaron, whoever wants to start, go ahead.
Go ahead, Aaron.
Well, I mean, you're the one who played it. I didn't get to play it. I ran camera, so I was watching Keith and John play it. But
you were the camera bitch this time around. All right.
I was the camera bitch. Yeah. I've played Destiny for a couple of years though. Destiny 1, and
I'm sorry.
just watching this. I enjoy it. I enjoy it.
You playing console shooters? I apologize.
Well, I mean, it is what it is. But
it is what it is. You got to get your jollies in, no matter how you get it in. So
don't hate. John got me into it. John got me into the original Destiny, and the way he did that was by telling me that it's basically like Halo. It plays a lot like Halo, just it's got an online aspect to it. You group up with other people, and they're like dailies and stuff to do, and raids and strikes. And it sounded interesting to me, and I've enjoyed it for that for the past couple of years. But watching it on the PC, it looked like just such a better experience than anything I've played in the past couple of years. It's so fluid, and you're using mouse and keyboard. How'd that feel, Keith? Like was it just pretty precise?
It felt
pretty
natural.
Yeah. Keith is like at a kid at a candy store, just be ready to beam it.
Yeah, because I always said that from the get go. I liked playing Destiny. It got boring after a while, but I always wished it was on PC.
Yeah.
So now that it's coming on PC, as long as they don't mess up anything, they work on the story. They have built. Do they have a system in place now?
Shouts out to Keith's mic all fucking up.
Yeah, your mic's getting a little wonky.
Is it getting wonky? Is it going crazy? What's it doing?
It's better now.
It's better now, yeah.
I hate you. But does Destiny have a system where you can group up people now?
The clans, yeah.
So, so there's a clan system, but it's run through the website. Through I think it's through Bungie.net if I remember correctly. So you can make clans there, and then when you sign up there, it kind of feeds into the game. It doesn't really affect the game other than just kind of putting a tag on your.
But it's not like WoW where you can do a
or full on raid.
I need people to do this group. Jump in with me now.
Nah, you could jump. I believe you could jump into Chris, right?
Well, for the matchmaking, certain things have matchmaking. Like the story modes, a lot of the Crucible stuff. The strikes have matchmaking. I forget if the Nightfalls do, and the raids do not in Destiny 1 have matchmaking.
Well,
so if you want to do a raid, you have to have 5 other people ready to go. So that's why I think a lot of people haven't played raids in the first Destiny. And they came out and said that basically during their big Destiny reveal, what was that, like a month and a half ago? They came out and said, yeah, most people haven't played a raid, and it's probably because you need too many people to do it. You need to be ready to go. So that's why Destiny 2 is going to have that guided mode, whatever they called it.
And that in the clan system.
Yeah, and the in-game clan system.
Yep. No more website garbage.
Yeah, which is, I'm looking forward to that. The guided mode sounds like if you want to get into a raid and you don't have enough people, you can open your group up to having, other people ask to join, and you can agree to have them come in and whatnot. So at least there's some sort of matchmaking going on there.
Shades of World of Warcraft.
Yeah.
I need help. Help us.
But let's talk about how it looks in 4K on
PC. It looked okay. So I had a couple conversations about this.
I want to hear what you thought.
Okay, well, conversation and how I feel and some confliction I have with that. So first up, the experience, the game looked beautiful. Again, it was on Asus ROG 27-inch 4K monitors at 60 hertz.
With
GTX 1080 Ti with G-Sync.
Yep.
Okay.
So it looked amazing. Those are $800 monitors.
Woo!
Yeah. So it looked amazing. It played amazing. I had no issues with it. I was like, wow, this looks badass. The game was very fluent. The controls were really tight and responsive. It, like I said, it felt natural. It's just like, oh, I played this before. I do feel like the game had a little bit of aim assist on there, because when you locked onto something, even if you move your mouse off for a second, it's still locked onto it.
Kind of stuck, yeah.
Yeah, so there was some aim assist in there. But for the most part, it was pretty seamless. You fought a bunch of Cabal or the Cabal. Then you switched off to a quick boss. You fought more Cabal, switched off another boss. And as you did that, you went from different environments. So you started off at the tower as he's being blown to hell and back. And then you go inside the tower looking for, what was it, the speaker?
Yeah.
And then after you get to the second boss in there, then you get on a ship and you go to the Cabal's flagship or mothership that's attacking you. And then you fight another boss on that one, which is really cool because it's thundering and it's lightning and the rain's coming down and it's dark and you got all these effects going around. And the game never dropped a frame. Never dropped a frame. It looked fantastic.
Yeah, watching over your shoulder, I was like, I was looking for any stutter or anything. I didn't see a single one.
Anything. I was watching it did nothing. And then we went inside the ship and that was it. It ended there. Some mysterious figure shrouded in darkness laughed at you and the game stopped.
That's probably Gaul, I guess, which is, I think that's the big bad for this one, the guy that's leading the Cabal on the attack. I think that's who it was supposed to be. I'm not sure. You got to the end of the demo. John did not.
Yeah,
John found the alternate ending to the demo.
It was kind of funny. He broke the game, and then the guys came over. He told the guy, and the guy's look was like,
"Yep,
huh?" Like that wasn't supposed to be possible. Okay, but he did it. He broke the game.
Yeah.
Do you have that on camera?
Of this recording? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's on the footage that we uploaded. Like we took his shadow play dump out and we recorded commentary over that, and that's up on YouTube somewhere, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, but it ends with him. He basically got past the checkpoint, went through a door. As he's trying to figure out where to go on the other side of the door, he jumped off a ledge, fell to his death.
Yeah, I almost did that. So that's at the end of the demo.
Yeah,
there's
he was so close.
Levels you have to jump, and I double jumped to the next platform. John just jumped straight down and died.
Good.
So he dies, and then the game spawns him back outside that door, and the door is now shut and not opening. And there's no way to open it. He couldn't progress to where he needed to go. So that's just where he stopped.
And he kept trying to get back to the door, and the door wouldn't budge. It was like, sorry for your luck, pal. You're stuck there.
Let's talk about some of the controversies and conflicts that you have. Apparently, you heard a lot of information because you told me and you had a conversation before we recorded this podcast a couple days ago about they didn't really know what they were running this on. You couldn't find any real information as to what they were running the Destiny demo on.
Right. They were pretty hush-hush as to what was in there other than the GTX 1080 Ti. Mm-hmm. I asked one of the guys, and he said it was a i7 7700. I asked another guy, and he wouldn't tell me. So, yeah, we don't know what was in those machines, but they were really powerful. You got to think about it. 4K, 60 frames per second, no stuttering whatsoever. Either they were very powerful, or that game, at its early stages, is really optimized. Take your pick.
They were running Threadrippers, I guarantee it.
No, Threadrippers aren't out yet.
I'm kidding. I'm obviously
got some
kidding.
Advanced ones.
I'm obviously kidding. They probably ran X9, X99 stuff.
So now, the deal with the PC version, by the way, we talked about this a little bit earlier today. Bungie's not developing that directly. That's Vicarious Visions that's doing that.
Hey, but look, listen, man.
It's not a port, though. It's built from the ground up for PC.
But listen, man, I'll give it to you straight up. Crash Bandicoot looks hella good.
Mm-hmm.
I have some faith.
I'm just saying, like, I mean, it's quite possible. I mean, they might have been really powerful rigs, but it could be in a pretty good state at this point. I mean, if it's built from the ground up for the PC, it's probably fairly optimized.
And you gotta think about it. We're in June right now, right? The game comes out in October, so you got July, August, September, October.
About 4 months.
4 months, and the game's coming out, so they're pretty far along. I hope.
Oh yeah, I mean, it looked pretty polished from what we saw.
Sexy.
It did. It looked very polished.
Yeah, and I mean, it doesn't look exactly like Destiny 1. It looks better. It looks like a definite graphical upgrade.
So it looks like something I'd actually play, right?
There was a lot of people griping about this, saying that it just looks like an expansion. Well, you're in the same location as Destiny.
Yeah, that's where it starts.
Look like that.
The rest of the game is going to go on to completely new planets. Right? There's 3 completely new planets to open with. I'm sure the expansions will bring back other stuff. So,
excuse my yawning if you're looking on a screen. I had a long day at work. We had a rehearsing for the kindergarten step-up ceremony. So
do the needful. Stop complaining.
So I'm just letting you know. If it looks like I'm uninterested, I'm not. I'm really listening to what they got to say. I'm gonna.
All right, we're boring Clinton. We got to move on.
You're not boring me, but on the real, let's move on a little bit. Let's move on a little bit to that. Let's do that, and then we move on to the other games that were announced at the Microsoft conference. And I do want to eventually get to talk about a little more about Threadripper and X99 because there's been a lot of talk about this in the near future. But let's start
not X99.
X299, excuse me.
X299. Yeah.
Okay, so let me finish it off. So the confliction I had with the game was they showed it at 4K. One, not everybody has the hardware to run games like that at that kind of graphical fidelity at 4K. I'm hoping that they're also focusing on 1080p and 1440p, which most people consider to be the sweet spot as far as PC game is concerned right now.
Mm-hmm.
That's my concern. I would like for them to show off some 1440p gameplay. 4K is fantastic. Great, fantastic.
You don't think that because they've got 4K looking so good so far, though, that it's probably a good indication that the lower resolutions are probably in a pretty good state? You
would think so, and that's typically how it goes.
Yeah.
But you know how assumptions.
But I was going to definitely say that. Remember, 4K is the buzzword right now, especially with gaming.
It's a little more. I disagree. I think it's a little bit more than buzzword because I actively use 4K.
Well, I know you actively use 4K, but in the marketing sense, it is a buzzword.
It's definitely something that they're trying to push on a lot of things.
It is a buzzword in terms of marketing. Yeah. Like, I'm not trying to say that people that play 4K, they're falling in the trap of the marketing thing, but a lot of people on the outside looking in that aren't tech nuts like the three of us here, they see it as a buzzword.
Did you call me a nut? How dare you?
We're all tech nuts. Come on, son.
How
we look at 4K.
We're all nuts.
We look at 4K and it's like, all right, it's a good resolution to play at. It's a good resolution to look at. But, we understand more about 4K because we do more of the research. Other people are just buying into the hype. And
I'll be 100% honest with you, and I'm done with Destiny. I would rather see a 1440p version or 1440 supported in Destiny with 21.9 ratio ultra widescreen support.
Yes.
That would be like, all right, thank you. and adjustable field of view.
Mm-hmm. Well, they haven't talked about any modes outside of 4K, right? Like that's it. Like that's all we've seen really so far.
But we did hear
that's the buzzword. Everybody to see it at 4K.
But let's talk about the
4K. It was great.
But Keith, let's talk about the 4K consoles real quick. The home consoles. Bungie stated that not only the Xbox One X version, but the PS4 Pro version will be locked at
bumping that Mob Deep. Hear him in there again.
Yeah.
Locked up at, I believe, 4K 30 frames a second, if I remember correctly.
Are they doing 4K?
Or is it 1080 30?
You know what?
I know they're doing 30 frames. I know they're locking it at 30 frames a second.
Can I be honest and tell you I wasn't really following the console versions of the game because I really don't care.
No, but I'm just saying.
Bungie, if you want to send us a review copy or Activision, we're all for it. But
yeah, absolutely.
I have a PlayStation 4 Pro and Xbox One. Just saying, I'm more invested in the PC version. I mean, seen my room?
But fuck that shit. What I'm saying is, actually,
there's another first word.
They say
two of them.
At 4K 30 frames a second, they'll both be locked.
That's what I heard too. It's going to be 30 frames a second on the consoles. They were not going to extend that to 60.
And they did make the claim that we're not doing this in favor of the PlayStation 4 Pro. So, which I'm kind of like,
yeah.
If you could go 4K 60 on the Xbox One X, why don't you?
Okay, so that goes back to the conversation we had internally about frames per second versus bells and whistles.
No, I understand that. No, that I understand. I'm just asking that question. Just as a hypothetical, in a sense. But I
think it's a good call. They would rather, at least in my mind, err on the side of caution, making sure that both platforms are within the same performance-wise.
Right.
Because you don't want to see the PlayStation 4 Pro lag behind the Xbox One X version. It's just bad business for you.
You're right.
Well, also given all the support that Sony's given Bungie, I think if the Xbox version comes out better, then that's not going to go well.
Yeah, I didn't want to say that because that year exclusivity deal where we get this, and this, and if They're not saying it, but we can all speculate that if the Xbox One X version plays and looks better than the PlayStation 4 version, Sony could be like, guys, what the hell? Now, there's that. Give me a minute, I can't talk. That doesn't concern the PC because, again, the PC is not competing with the Xbox One version.
No, it's not.
Or the PlayStation 4 version. It doesn't matter how many times I say this to people. They're like, but it is. No, it is not. The PC is in its own little vacuum that they don't care about. PC is basically, and I hate to make this analogy, iPhone people are going to get mad at me. I have an iPhone, but I want to do this, that, this, and the third, then I'm going to get an Android phone. Now, I know some people are going to go and say, Keith, but I hate Android. I love Apple. It's just for my comparison because I hate iPhones.
I agree with you.
A lot of people do.
I'll give it to you straight up. Listen, I had an iPhone and I had to go back to an Android because guess what? Android has expandable storage. I can sideload apps. I can sideload apps on my Android. I can.
We're not going to get into that.
I can do so much more.
Yeah, no, but the point is that the PC is a completely separate thing. That's the point.
Yeah, it's on its own little vacuum, its own world. You know, the PC is basically, if you got the money, you got the time, and you've got the ambition or the passion, then you're going to go to the PC.
But I'll just tell you, Keith, it's demolishing game consoles in terms of like yearly sales.
Until we get games like Batman Arkham Knight.
Yo,
I'm going to keep bringing that up. That's always going to be there. I'm always going to bring up that game because it's always that one game that it's like, we're doing good. Wait, stop.
Yeah, it's a valid point.
Stop. Hold up. Wait a minute.
So yeah, Destiny 2 on the PC look phenomenal, play phenomenal. I can't wait for it to come out. Next.
So we got a bunch of other games. So we're gonna talk a little bit about the Xbox One X as well. When we talk about this game, let's talk a little bit about Forza Motorsport 7.
You said Horizon.
I was about to say Horizon 7. Yes, Forza Motorsport 7.
Oh boy,
Keith, you wrote an article today talking about that the PC specs are not indicative of the Xbox One X version, which a lot of YouTube personalities are stating, and that's a very dangerous precedent to set.
Okay, so let me back up and say, I'm not going to name any names, but I watched a really ignorant, toxic, stupid video on YouTube where this guy was spewing nonsense that he has no idea what the hell he's talking about.
Keith, call him out if you have to, man.
No. He has his posse, his groupies. But in his video, he was taking the fact that Microsoft put out the specs for Forza 7 on the PC, and they had the minimum spec and the recommended spec. And the recommended spec was recommending a GTX 1050 Ti.
Yeah, that's the
and
low
that's
end,
all
bro.
the person drew interest to focus on was that this low end budget card is going to run Forza Horizon. God damn it. Forza Motorsport 7, and that it would blow up the Xbox One X version, and that people that will buy the Xbox One X were getting raped in their butt. This is his words, and it didn't make any sense. Okay, so I did write the guy. I was like, you have no idea what the hell you're talking about. There's a reason why there's a minimal and there's a recommended baseline. If you don't know what you're talking about, you really need to stop. You're making yourself look like an idiot. So just a little bit of education if you haven't checked out the article on the website. A recommended spec basically means that this will let you play the game. That's it. It doesn't let you play the game.
Keith, you gotta specify the minimum spec will allow you to play the game. The recommended
spec. I don't qualify the minimum specs because the minimum is just the bare minimum.
The minimum gets it to load. That's about it.
That's
the low. But
that doesn't guarantee performance. It doesn't guarantee
But the recommended spec allow you to play the game at the smoothest possible, smoothest possible. Doesn't it?
No. The recommended is just to get like a kind of a stable performance. That's about it.
So and that's what I said in the article. They should have specified what resolution and what frame rate. Now, if you've seen games like Gears of War,
but most games don't do that though.
They do. A lot of games will do that. The last couple of games that came out, and especially ones that Nvidia was pushing, they come out and tell you if you want to run the game at this resolution, at this frame rate, you're going to want this card. They have done that. They have been doing it. And I mentioned that. Yeah. So recommended was GTX 1050 Ti. And that's it. You know, it doesn't say if it was 720p, 60 frames, 30 frames, 1080p, 30 frames. But the person was using that and basically saying that the Xbox One X was unwarranted because you can run it on 1050 Ti. And I'm like,
but the 1050 Ti can't even do 4K.
The 1050 Ti can't even do 1080p 60 frames in a lot of games, let alone 30 frames.
But Keith, that's what I'm
max
saying.
settings.
But that's what I'm saying.
And that's what I said.
A lot of people don't understand that.
Right.
Like, this is
and
not
that's the
something.
thing.
Yeah.
And he was just spewing this nonsense, and I'm like, you're misinformed, and you're saying the same garbage to people that actually listen to you and believe everything you say like gospel. So I had to write the article to set it clear. The performance of that 1050 Ti is nowhere going to be indicative of the Xbox One X version. In fact, we've seen video of the Xbox One X version running at 4K at 60 frames per second.
Mm-hmm.
That 1050 is not going to get remotely close.
No.
So, okay, so a 1070, a 1080, yeah, definitely, hell yes. But the 1050,
you must be bugging.
It's just no. And I had to write the article because the guy was just going off, and I'm like, God, this guy is an idiot.
Here's the thing, and this is what I gotta say to a lot of y'all people on YouTube, a lot of you people doing gaming journalism and all that kind of stuff. We're trying to be like us. If you're gonna say something, at least have some facts behind you and know what the fudge nutters you're talking about.
The problem is, again, we're going back into this whole brand loyalty crap where you want Sony to win, you want Microsoft to win, and then you have the fanboy equation in here. And the problem is, the problem is people cannot leave that alone.
Mm-hmm.
You want to trash the Xbox One X because you don't like Microsoft. Okay, great, that's fantastic. But come to these battles, come to these debates, come informed, be knowledgeable. That said, Forza Motorsport 7 looks amazing. Everybody that's played the game at E3, who has seen the game in motion at E3, loved what they saw.
Yeah.
I didn't get a chance to play it. I was mad as hell, but I got to see it.
Came close.
Now, I did find some information out. So they had two racing simulators at the event.
Yes.
Hydraulics, large ass 4K monitor, and those running off of PCs. They were confirmed as PCs. The other games that were the kiosk stands, they were just the Xbox One X versions. And the PC version looked amazing. There are videos of it right now on YouTube. Go check those out. They look fantastic, but I didn't really see a big difference between either one of the versions. So that's really good.
Mm-hmm.
I would imagine that the PC was running some pretty high-end stuff.
You don't think they had 1050s in there? Come on. We got to do the show on a budget, man. This is E3. We can't blow out the budget every year.
They had SOI 1050s in there.
Not real. They had to probably have like at least the very bare minimum 1080s.
They had RX. They had 390s in there.
Oh.
You mean that? You mean that's R9 390s? What the fuck?
I can't really say much about Forza again because I didn't get to play it. I can only go off what I've seen.
Yeah.
I've seen some uncompressed footage from Digital Foundry. Yeah. I'm waiting for it. That's all I can say. I'm waiting. As a racing nut, as somebody who's played Forza Motorsport,
Keith, you already shut up.
Constantly.
Shut up.
I'm
you
ready
already
to go.
bought the Ultimate Edition.
I'm ready. Say it again?
You already bought the Ultimate Edition.
No, I want Microsoft to send us the Ultimate Edition to review. Microsoft, I did Forza Horizon 3. Now send us 7 early so I can play it and pip it out. I will invite people over to my house. I will take all my computers downstairs and let people play the game.
Honestly, I'll tell you straight up, man. I would definitely pick up the Ultimate Edition when I got the chance because
there's no reason. If you're a racing fan, if you like Forza, there is no reason not to get it. Just because the Ultimate Edition gets you the game a couple days ahead of time, and the season pass.
Look, listen, I'm already picking up the NBA 2K Legend Gold Edition. I'm already picking up the WWE 2K Legend Edition, Deluxe Edition. I'll pick it up Forza's Ultimate Edition. Ain't no question about that.
But now that you're talking about Forza, again, it's going to be a great game, guys. But and not throwing shade to anybody, we've got Forza coming out this year. We've got GT Sport coming out this year. We've got Project Cars 2 coming out this year. It's going to be
like Motocross GP just came out. Dirt just came out.
3 games right there. Games people are waiting for. It's going to be a great Q4 2017.
And I think Forza. I think F1 17 should be coming out soon too. So there's gonna be a lot of racing games if you're a big racing fan.
But so talking about Forza, let's go ahead and talk about the Xbox One X.
You're the elephant in the room, right?
Aaron, you get to go first since you were there. up front.
Look, you were there too.
But you were in the front.
I wasn't in the front. I was on the side. The people that were in the front had gamer tags that started with Ace or I. Yeah. Change my gamer tag to Aardvark for next year, and then maybe I'll get the sit up front.
Nah. I'm gonna just change my gamer tag to Bowman Navigator.
There you go. I'll put you up there. No, but no, we got the big reveal at the briefing. They came out. They announced the names, the X now. So the Xbox One X, the XBOX.
They need to have sober DMX singing the song now.
What? Is the Xbox One X? What?
That should be their theme song.
That should be.
What you really want?
There you go, right there. It sells itself.
That was a missed opportunity. Yeah, I'm sad that wasn't at the briefing now.
It would sell itself.
Yeah.
Okay, since you don't want to go, I was trying to give you some
no, well, I mean, what you?
Hey, they at least had.
What do you want to hear? What do you want to talk about?
They at least had Nas there, all right? So
okay, what do you think about the reveal and the console itself?
So, I mean, the console itself. Again, I mean, we talked about this before, and my opinion here is that they're going after, they're doing that whole unified platform thing. This console is for people who don't want to build a gaming PC and they want to be able to play these games. And this console is like a good, like kind of mid to high end PC basically, and it does 4K. Hook it up to your TV, and you go. All the work they put into it, the design work they talked about, how they especially tuned all the hardware. Basically, they had developers in mind, trying to make this thing give them as much power as possible to work with. And the whole thing, in my opinion, is impressive for a console. If you're not into console gaming, you're probably sitting there going, "Why would I ever buy this? Console's not for you." And they've come out and said that. Phil Spencer's come out and said that. This console is not for everybody, but there is a market for it. There are people who want this kind of thing. They want the most powerful console, and this is it. And I think it was a good reveal. I like the specs in it. The price point I feel like is pretty much what we were expecting. Yeah. Some people would have liked for it to have been a little bit cheaper, but I think this is pretty much where it was going to be. And I'm thinking back to when somebody said it was going to be like $700, $800, and I'm just like, yeah, really. But
this is not the Neo Geo, no sir.
You remember that, Keith?
I do. I went at one, and mom and dad were like, "Yeah, right."
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but I've heard about the Xbox One X, and a lot of people have this issue with it. Is just the idea that it is $500, and that's a lot of complaints. And I'm like, wait, you're right. I was gonna go back to the point of you complaining about but wait, it's like $800. Like it would have been $800, and people bitching now that it's $5 instead of $4 for the specs that they offer. But one of the other complaints that I heard was that there was a game, I believe it was Assassin's Creed Origins was announced.
There were a couple games
and a couple other games that Digital Foundry found out that we're going to be using checkerboarding.
And the internet went crazy. Internet was like, look at that. They were going back to Phil Spencer's, uncompromised 4K, and it's like, this is checkerboarding. That's compromise.
But
I agree. I agree with that.
May I offer a theorem to that?
No.
I was going to offer that actually.
Solve for 4K. Go. What's your theorem?
My theorem, essentially, is that I know Microsoft would probably understand how to optimize it for their own console and get that true 4K. My thing is a lot of the other developers that are doing games that will be optimized for 4K that are going to the PlayStation 4 Pro as well are being built for the PlayStation 4 Pro and being ported over to the Xbox One X.
So you think that's where that's kind of originating from?
Yes. Yeah. I think that's the case because of the level of parity that they want to have, at least. Mm-hmm. They don't want the Xbox version looking better than the PlayStation 4 version, in a sense. Keith, how do you feel about that theory, in a sense?
I disagree with a lot of that. If it's a third-party developer, they shouldn't have any issues with parity at all. None whatsoever. Because if that was the case, we'd have the same issue with certain games running on the PC looking like console versions because they didn't want the PC version to trash the console version.
I thought we saw that in a couple of games over the past
we have seen that.
Years.
People have complained about it. The graphical parity needs to be thrown out the window. That said, it's going to be up to the third-party companies to put their money where their mouth is. Point being, if I have a PlayStation 4 Pro and an Xbox One X, I want you to give me the best that you can give me. I don't want you like, well, the Xbox One can't do this, so we won't put this feature into the PlayStation 4 Pro and vice versa. We already know that the Xbox One X, God, I hate that name, is on paper a better system than the PlayStation 4 Pro.
Yes.
There's no doubts about that.
Yeah.
Will we see better looking games on there? It's going to depend on the developers.
Yeah.
I would like to see better looking games on Xbox One X.
That's essentially what I'm saying. It's on the developers for this one.
It's going to be on the developers.
Right.
It's not going to help sell systems because, again, that's still part of the battle. There's also a game catalog issue with the Xbox brand, which is still being addressed.
Hey, at least we got something out of it, especially the Japanese games.
But there are a lot of people on Twitter that are saying that Xbox One games are not going to look better than PlayStation 4 Pro games, and I'm like,
miss me with that bull.
Are you crazy?
Shit. Like,
it's going to be the developers, but if we're doing apples to apples or apples to oranges, we're talking about actual power. Xbox One X is
it could definitely deliver something better. It's capable of it. Absolutely,
it's capable of it. Now, I said from the get-go that I doubt the Xbox One X is going to be able to give us a truly 4K experience. It doesn't have the power. It's just not going to happen. This is coming from somebody who's dabbled in 4K, who's played with PCs, that some PCs struggle to do 4K.
Yeah.
I will give Microsoft all the credit in the world from doing what they did with DirectX 12 and integrating it directly into the GPU. That's great. But that's not going to automatically give you so much power that it can run everything in 4K. We've already seen this already. Certain games are running checkerboarding. So, I'm fine with that. I was fine with the PlayStation 4 Pro running games at checkerboarding. I never expected a gaming console under $400 to give me a full 4K experience. It just wasn't going to happen. Just like I don't expect the Xbox One X to give me a full 4K experience. Now, when I say full, wait a second. When I say full, I mean every game. I don't mean this, and the rest of those games aren't 4K.
I mean my question, yeah.
All of them. For it to be a full 4K experience, every game has to run 4K.
But again, like I said, like you said, I said, Aaron said, it's on the developers.
Yeah,
this is definitely on the bad because we know Microsoft knows its software, knows its hardware well enough to actually pull out the latent potential of it. And I'm not trying to make a Dragon Ball Z joke, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sorry.
I thought you were saying professional latent, but okay.
I said latent, as in like Mystic Gohan. Oh. Now I made the
Gohan
joke.
doesn't exist. He doesn't exist. Stop that.
He's back.
Are you saying
now.
this isn't the Xbox's final form? Is that what you're getting at?
That was made up. It's not.
Can I? But or Ultimate Gohan, excuse me.
Thank you.
But speaking of final forms, we did talk about me and you, Aaron, had a phone call. And we did talk about the Xbox as a service deal. Do you think that this is the start of it? Do you think we're going to be seeing another powerful version of this console later down the line?
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I think so. Yeah, I mean this is laying the groundwork for that.
We're done. We're done with that. We're done.
At least on the Microsoft side of things.
No, yeah, we were talking about that. Like next up's got to be something a little more powerful than this, and still running on the same platform, still running the same games. Meanwhile, then we'll get like the PS5 out of Sony. That'll be just starting all over again. No, we got a new library, and we're gonna have to shoehorn backwards compatibility back into it, and it's things are going to get interesting, I think, at that point.
So
I actually think backwards compatibility, now that you mention it, will actually get easier since we're going to be running on the same architecture, or even if they go to Intel or whoever, as long as they stay with an x64 architecture, I think backwards compatibility will be a lot easier.
But here's the thing.
x86 is even easier to do.
But here's the thing, right? We were moving from Power PC. Remember, the Xbox 360 was a Power PC.
Yeah.
Essentially, the Xbox and the Xbox 360 were Power PCs, and we're still able to do backwards compatibility onto the x86 architecture. Sony hasn't done that yet.
Because Sony, I can't talk, because Sony won't sell.
Yeah, they run some crazy
even for the PS2, which was Power PC, they still haven't really done it yet.
They kind of did.
They gave us, or they made us buy the games again with upscaling and achievement support, which is like, when you could just easily say, "Yo, put your PlayStation 2 disc in here," and it'll read the game, kind of like what it did with the Xbox 360, and the Xbox One will do the Xbox One.
Yeah, the OG Xbox stuff that you can throw your disc in and play right off that too, right?
Like yes.
Yeah. So
I mean,
it's like full
the PS3
support.
was able to just throw your PS2 disc in there if you had either the Emotion Engine or the
first
software
gen
emulation.
Yeah,
first
software emulations, and you could just throw your PS1 disc in there regardless.
All of them played the PlayStation 1 games. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
So that's something that's there to really think about and contemplate. But moving back into the conversation, like Xbox as a service, I think taking the Steam or the Apple Mac OS iOS approach to this thing is actually a smart thing for Microsoft. I mean, that's where.
Did you say Apple? Oh God.
Well, yeah, that's what they do. Aaron, as an Apple owner, can you confirm this? Where at least
all I own is the phone.
eight devices are still covered by one operating system right now.
Yes. The older devices definitely don't run as well, and that's how Apple kind of likes to do it. Your older devices are going to run like crap. But it's possible to not really screw people with older devices that hard. And Apple just really likes to do that.
Apparently, there's a battle going on N4G regarding my Forza 7 article, which is sparking some interesting conversation. So that's always a good thing.
Yeah. But what I'm saying again, I'm going back to the same thing. Like the iPhone 6 and the iPhone 6 Plus, there's still I think it's the 6 and the 6 Plus is still running the current operating system on the iPhone. But then you have the 7, the SE, and all these other phones and the other upgraded phones that are running the operating system, and they're being still made, but they're supported.
Yeah,
that's why I think is gonna go with the OG Xbox is gonna be like no longer supported in the next console build that Microsoft is gonna do.
I don't know. I wouldn't say that. Never say never on that.
Yeah, or
I would agree with that. Yeah.
Or they'll just say, here's a new, more powerful Xbox 3 or 4 years down the line.
But keep in mind, if they do this the way that I think they're going to do, and they're just basically going to export those games or find a way to get those games converted over to a service where you just play them online or download them, then they can do it for as long as they need.
Yeah.
Once they get the process down, it's
kind of like Steam, right?
It's cake.
That's what it seemed like they were going after. It seemed like they were going kind of a Steam direction. Yeah.
Which actually, Microsoft is really smart to take the example from and do that.
I have a visitor.
Yeah.
Hey, Keith Jr. in the house.
Got all kinds of special guests tonight.
Hey, buddy.
So I think Microsoft going for the Steam approach actually does make sense.
Yes, I am.
Yeah. It does make sense, and I hope they actually follow through with this instead of just acquiescing to the audience and saying, no, we don't want this because we don't want to be PC elitist or whatever the case may be.
No, I think this is a good route. People will see. This will be good.
I am Groot.
All right. So, anything else you want to talk about E3 before we go to the X299 and the Threadripper talk?
Yes.
Go ahead, Keith.
E3 was a colossal mess up. I was going to say the F word, but it wasn't. Thank you, buddy.
Hey, you was about to say the curse word as soon as your son was bringing you your water.
No, I haven't been saying F words this entire podcast. You have not noticed.
I know.
There's been one person contributing.
There's just one person doing that.
Hey, shut the fudge nutters up.
I don't like the fact that they did not plan for all of these pro consumers to be there. And there's been a lot of people on both sides of the spectrum. People that attended the event as pro consumers. People that attended as industry and press were all saying the same thing, that it was poorly planned. There was way too many people there. The lines were entirely way too long.
And people don't give a fuck about the cameras.
Well, there's that too, But a lot of people were just stating obvious that something needs to be done. And that if they do the same thing this year, they're going to do next year, or vice versa. Do the thing next year they did this year. People were saying, they're saying they won't go again. I've already said I won't go if they do the same thing. It just doesn't make any sense.
Right.
There were just so many things that I wanted to check out and do. But Nintendo's a perfect example. Looking at that line, it's like there's no way in hell we can keep our appointments or do what we have to do and then still stay in line to play a game.
Hey, if I was there, you'd be able to. So
at the same time, these companies, when you sign up to E3, you're put on a press list when you're media. And these companies can send out invites to you regardless of stuff. We've gotten tons of those. Yeah. But they're selective. We've reached out to our Nintendo rep several times and we never got an answer back. So we never got a chance to officially hit Nintendo's booth. There needs to be a process where they gauge and tell you, okay, these are all the people that you can hit up, or you can sign up for this, and this. And then go from there, and they contact you and say, okay, we have this appointment time. sort of what they're doing now, but it needs to be some kind of a global thing to cover the entire event. And these are the ones that say, okay, you have these events you can go to. You got denied for these. These are the ones you can go to. Right. So that way you know when you get there, okay, Nintendo said no. All right, if you want to go to Nintendo, then you do that. You do that for yourself. But we as a group won't be covering Nintendo. Mm-hmm. Something like that. Or like Nvidia did it perfectly. They had a line for the pro consumers, and they had a line for media. Yeah. You just had to show your badge, prove that you were media, and you got to sit in.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's what they need to do.
So you're saying E3, like E3 as the organization, needs to actually do that for all the companies? Then is that what you're getting at?
Yes, they do that
rather than letting the companies like handle it themselves,
help the companies.
Yes, yeah. It seemed like I guess that's what the ESA, they're the ones that run E3. Like they just had they take a very hands-off approach. It's like we'll just get people in the door on the floor and then just let them do whatever.
Well, the ESA is a mess on their own rights, though. You know what I mean? And even someone so for PAX is like that's something I don't like because like we got to deal with all the consumers and all the cosplayers and all this extra shit. And it's like, look, listen, this is a gaming trade show. I mean, fuck you doing coming in cosplay first of all, and that's just my personal.
No. There were some cool people in cosplay.
I don't care about that. No, this is E3. Like,
the winner a lot. Well, see, that's the thing. That's them not planning for. I don't want to say culture clash, but when you bring gamers, gamers to a gaming event that has been traditionally business related, orientated, or whatever you want to say,
oriented, yes,
they're going to do that.
Yeah. No, that was definitely expected. I didn't see as much as I was expecting, but there was definitely.
Like this.
I knew it was going to be there.
My thing, I would have been real tight if I saw a cosplayer around there. And you don't know why? Because this is E3. You know E3. You know E3 as an event that is very business oriented. You're coming in there with a goddamn costume for what? Just to show off of your friends and stuff like that? No. I'm the type of person. Listen, I'm the type of person. When I go to conventions, I go there to work. Why? Because I'm getting a press pass on behalf of the Outerhaven Productions.
You gotta have some fun.
I'm willing to have some fun. I'm willing to have some fun, but at the same time, I'm going there to work. And if you're doing something that hampers my job, I'm going to be rightfully pissed because you're hampering what I have to do.
That's the thing between like having this defined as definitely an industry event versus a fan event. And mixing the two, it gets messy, and it seemed like E3 itself. I mean, like we saw they had a merchandise booth for the general public attendees, and all the swag in there was like just the cheesiest, awful stuff. So it was almost like they were fostering that idea that the fans should be showing up and being like, oh yeah, I went to E3, I'm super important, I'm super.
I still think I'm a super fan that way. An E3 Fan Fest that's separate. Like if you're gonna hold the E3 Fan Fest, it should be on a separate venue.
It's called PAX. To be honest.
Oh my god.
To be honest.
Blown. Like
right.
It's PAX. It's PAX.
That's already a consumer show. It's already a consumer show. They've figured out over the years how to best accommodate consumers and set up companies to
San Diego Comic-Con. Like you got San Diego Comic-Con where gaming companies go.
Yeah,
you got PAX Prime, San Diego Comic-Con, PAX East, PAX South. You got QuakeCon, BlizzCon. Like you got all these other things you can go to, but you come and you muck up our E3 with your look at me, I'm a tourist.
At the same time, I mean, like the discussion every year is E3 still relevant, and it seemed like this was, I guess, an effort to keep it relevant. But
look, listen. If it loses relevancy, to the public, that's fine,
right?
Because technically, I'm gonna give it to you straight up. With the PlayStation, with Sony basically doing their own convention, they feel no need to really show out at E3 anymore. Nintendo does their Nintendo.
All three of them, yeah.
Nintendo does their Nintendo Direct. The only people that really show out is Microsoft. Because they don't have their own convention, but E3 is the perfect place for them to show out because they really get that spotlight. You take a look at Gamescom, which is technically the biggest gaming event out there in the world. Gamescom is a bigger deal than E3 to a degree.
Doesn't Gamescom, like, they have a specific day for for press, and then after that it gets opened?
Well, it's a 4-day event. The Thursdays for press, and every other day is for the public. but still, it's a bigger deal. You see companies like, I'll throw it out there last year, and I'll bring in the wrestling game stuff in this. 2K had a big ass thing where they invited freaking Bill Goldberg to promote WWE 2K18, 2K17. That they didn't do that at E3. All they did was a freaking mural revealing John Cena. Okay, like you look at Gamescom, it was a big old thing. 2K had like streams and they had content for everything. They showed off everything, all of that. All the companies go big for Gamescom. They don't go big for E3.
Right. Yeah.
Outside of the press conferences, the only thing that is relevant about E3 is the press conferences, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
That's my big thing, Keith. I don't know where you come in for that opinion.
As I said before, it needs to have a dedicated. If they're going to keep doing what they're doing, they need to have a dedicated media day that is at least one full day, not 10 o'clock to 5 o'clock. It
9 to 5.
It needs to be 9 to 9. It needs to be a 12-hour event, so all the media people can get in there, get their stuff done, and then they can choose to decide if they want to fight the crowds the next 2 days.
Yeah, I'd be fine with that.
Or next 3 days if they want to start. If they want to do a move extended to 4.
I don't think it needs to be longer than 3 days. It's the convention center. If you look at it, isn't that big.
No.
Compared to PAX East, it's not that big.
Oh, so compared to like the Jacob Javits Center and the Boston Convention Center.
The only difference is the Los Angeles Convention Center had 2 large areas that E3 was in, and between those 2 were long corridors that you had to walk through to get to them.
Yeah.
That was it.
Fair enough.
It wasn't that big. There weren't that many companies there.
Right.
And most of the companies like Nintendo, Microsoft, Sony, Capcom had a long stretch, and a couple other ones had really big booths. Everybody else had really small areas.
Yeah.
Right. So, all right. So we're moving on, ladies and gentlemen, from the E3 talk. Let's talk a little bit about Threadripper and X299.
Take it away,
I know you've been following Threadripper and X299 for a little bit. Everybody has been talking about it. We're looking at, and I've seen some videos. Jay's 2 Cents has talked about this. Linus has talked about it. A couple other people have talked about it, especially the X299 stuff. There's going to be a cheaper refresh coming out. Coffee Lake should be coming out soon, and they're saying, is Intel out of their minds? What is the purpose of having the X299 platform if there's going to be a cheaper alternative coming out anyway?
Well, why don't you speculate on that one and then come back to me?
Well, I wanted to hear what you say first. I'm the host.
I don't really have. I haven't really been following the recent release of the i9s or the X299 because, again, I've watched a lot of things that J2 Cents said and what Linus said and a couple other people. And first of all, I talked about this earlier. I think it was with you, Aaron. The i99 wasn't supposed to come out for another couple of months.
Mm-hmm.
But due to the fact that AMD came out with Ryzen, it's been kicking, well, I won't say kicking Intel's ass, but the price for performance, they're doing a fantastic job. AMD hasn't been in this spot in years.
Yeah.
I think Intel felt threatened because, to be honest, they overpriced their processors. They really do. And Ryzen came out and was like, oh, we can give you an 8-core, 16-thread processor for under $300. And it all of a sudden it's like, that's pretty good. And then like, oh, we got Threadripper coming out soon, under $1,000. It's been designed for content creators. So you're looking at 10, 12 cores with 20 and 24 threads for people to render video fast. I was on an AMD call when they were talking about that, and they were really excited about Threadripper coming out. And you guys wonder, Intel's like, well, crap, we don't have anything that really combat that at that price point. So i99 was rushed. And I've seen a lot of reviews, and for people that are on like Skylake right now, or even Haswell, there's no real reason to jump on these.
Especially with Coffee Lake coming out too.
Exactly. There's no reason to do this right now. So it's like Intel is fighting with themselves all of a sudden because they're going to bring out another refresh, and it's like, well, why would I do this if you have this? It just doesn't make any sense.
You know, for those that's sitting on the Sky Lakes, the Cabby Lakes, and all those other things like that, you're right. I mean, I was looking at the X299s, and I'm like, is there really, like, I don't think there's a point. I think this is overpriced for the performance that they're giving, in my personal opinion. And I have a Haswell Xeon right now. That's kicking ass right now. I personally saw no need to upgrade, like you said.
The only big, and even with Coffee Lake, the only big push with that is the fact that it's using a smaller fab process. It'll be a smaller nanometer compared to Sky Lake. So that's the big push for Coffee Lake, which will be more efficient with energy usage, power usage, and less heat. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what Intel's thinking, but coming from someone who uses an X99, I'm running a 5820K overclocked to 4 gigs. Could go higher, but I want to get liquid cooling before I do that. I just set up a Ryzen setup behind me, Ryzen 7 1700. I think it's freaking wicked. If it wasn't for the fact that there are still some issues with some programs running on there, like Adobe Premiere still has issues. It still renders slower than comparable Intel machines. My main machine would be over there, and that would be over here.
Oh shit!
It's just you know, having access to 8 cores and 16 threads versus 6 cores and 12 threads is very appealing. I mean, granted, I can just walk over and use that machine, but still, you know, I'm doing a lot of testing between the two machines. And even still, like, I'll give you a good example. So I played Forza Horizon 3 on it. I played Gears of War 4 on it. And I played Forza Apex on there. And that has a GTX 970 compared to this one that has the 1080. It ran the games just fine with that 970. 1080p and 1440p. No issues.
Nice.
So
I still want that Aria. I still want that Aria TV. That
they don't even sell those anymore. So once that thing's dead, I'm screwed. they don't even sell it anymore. It's really weird. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. You know, again, Intel's fighting itself with Skylake X and Coffee Lake coming out later on, and then Ryzen right there, and Threadripper end of August, I think.
Right.
If Threadripper can come out under $1,000, I think AMD will throw another wrench into Intel's plans. I really do think so.
Aaron, your thoughts on this?
I was a little unprepared on the Coffee Lake topic. I had actually missed all that stuff. No, it sounds like what Intel is doing here is definitely reactive to how well Ryzen's been doing. Yeah. And I'm just trying to look up specs here and whatnot on what they have going on with the Coffee Lake stuff. So it's the 14 nanometer. Yeah, it's kind of an odd choice to release that soon.
They were panicking
in that order. Yeah, that's what it seems like.
They were panicking.
And this is not something that notably, this is not something that Intel does, because Intel is usually far in the lead.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
When it comes to it.
Yeah.
So they're usually ahead of the game.
So they were really caught off guard by Ryzen then.
Yeah, it was like a very sharp left hook to the face for them with Ryzen. But I don't know where. What do you think that Intel goes from here?
Well, that's what I'm trying to find out.
I
think that's what everybody's trying to find out.
Yeah, I think that's what Intel's trying to find out.
Yes. You know, like I don't know where. If I had to make a guess as to where Intel would be going, I think they would be going to try to at least regain their place in the gaming arena. Not the gaming arena, in the processor arena, the desktop arena.
Well, my question is, you know, Coffee Lake was supposed to come out between Q2 and Q3 2017, right?
Yes.
Now the i9s are out, where Skylake X is out. Where does it push Coffee Lake? I mean, it looks like we don't have a release date for that now.
I mean, we didn't hear much about Coffee Lake. That's the thing. That's the one thing that worries me.
That's the whole thing. There hasn't been a lot of talk about it,
and
I'm sitting here like, where's the information about it?
You know, there really isn't. Yeah, I'm sitting here looking.
Yeah.
And there's nothing. Absolutely
There's nothing.
Yeah.
Everybody's asking the same thing. What's the point of Coffee Lake anymore? It's a good question.
You know, and obviously, you know, there's also Canon Lake that's supposed to be coming out as well. The 10 nanometer one's supposed to be coming out.
Meanwhile, AMD's coming out with Epic for the server data center.
Oh, that's right. Go up against Xeon.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty.
To give you an example, AMD has been relevant in the server space and got us along. Remember the Opterons?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
That was it.
Not heard that name in a long time.
Opteron, right? So you're hearing from the aspect you're hearing coming in that the Intel is in one of the weirdest spots that it can ever be in right now, and I feel bad for them. I feel bad for them.
They put themselves in this. They
got complacent. They got complacent.
There was no reason to go out and do X299 right now. I mean, you had Skylake, you have Haswell E, you have Broadware E using X99,
right? Which
also pisses off everybody else because until now the X99 was the enthusiast platform and it was fairly expensive. I'm running X99, and yes, when I first got into that, it was very expensive. Had to get DDR4 memory. There was a lot of issues with the X99 chipset. A lot of motherboard vendors had issues with the firmwares.
I mean, it took
a while. It took a long time for that to become very commonplace. And even still, and now you've got Skylake X out, which is a brand new chipset.
Yes, sir.
And then, yeah, no word on Coffee Lake.
Don't know what to tell you, bro.
Intel is being Intel. I wouldn't have worried about it. I would have let the AMD do its thing. I mean, you could stand to lose some ground every once in a while, and I don't even think you would have lost much ground. There are still people out there that are still purists that won't touch AMD just because of all the promises of AD in the past. Like, Bulldozer, it's going to do this, and then
but at the same time, Ryzen is doing a damn good job though. Like, and you can't sit down there and like judge the past.
I'm very happy for AMD coming back and doing what they're doing. I am very happy for them. Very happy.
Like, cause part of me is like, I was thinking about getting a Ryzen 7 until I remembered, oh wait, Premiere works better with Intel processors.
Right. For now. Correct.
Now. Right. So it's a waiting thing to get a Ryzen 7.
But
at least for me.
Even still, I mean, from a gamer's perspective, if you want a decent upgrade and you only got 400 bones to spend, you can buy an X350 motherboard and a Ryzen 5 for less than 400.
And get the obviously you have to get the upgraded memory because DDR4.
You can buy an 8 gig stick of DDR4 for under $100.
Bro, I ain't saying 8 gig, bro. I gotta get my 32s. I gotta get my 6032.
32s is overkill. 16 is
16's good.
Yeah. Well, yeah, duh. 16 is definitely
good. There's no reason to have 32. There's no reason. I don't even have 32. There's just no reason to have 32 unless you're rendering a shit ton of stuff. And even still, you've got GPUs that are helping with rendering. There's no
unless you open a lot of tabs in Chrome, then 32.
Oh yeah, Chrome destroys my machine. It's like, Chrome, what you doing? I'm using 7 gigs for this one thread. Chrome, what?
And this is why I want Microsoft. This is why I wanted Microsoft Edge to do well, because it's like,
you know what? Google has that thing, or Alphabet has that thing where they have everything. You can log into your Chrome, you have access to your Gmail and your Gtalk and everything that Google
Hangouts and all that shit, right?
If they didn't have that internet connectivity,
you might as well just
get, Chrome.
Bro, you might as well just get the bare bones Chromium then, if you want to do that.
But see, the add-ons that I use too, and that's a big part of it as well. Add-ons will eat your memory in your face.
Yeah. And so I'm trying to shrink down the add-ons that I have, right? The extensions and stuff that I have on there, because at least, you know, like I can save some memory, because sometimes when like Google Chrome just slows to a crawl, I'm like tearing my hair out. Like, why is it so slow? Like,
But I think we should end the show here. Good conversation, but it is 11:20 Eastern Standard Time.
Yeah,
Oh,
ladies
yeah.
and gentlemen, obviously we have a lot of things going on. So we got some podcasts to advertise.
Yeah.
Obviously, you got the Xbox Experience Live, ladies and gentlemen. We're gonna be doing this more often on a regular basis. So basically, every Wednesday, we're gonna, if that's okay with you guys.
It's not Wednesday, it's Tuesday.
No, we're doing Wait, we're gonna do it on Tuesdays.
No,
Tuesdays.
it is Tuesday.
I know it is Tuesdays, but can we start doing it on Wednesdays?
Oh, dear God. My sleep cycle.
Not this time. Not at this time. What are you talking about?
Aaron said no, he doesn't want to die.
I might not be able to do it Wednesdays, but
All right,
Tuesdays work for me.
Yeah, Tuesdays at 8 o'clock, obviously. Tuesdays at 8 o'clock. You know, we're going to be doing it Tuesdays at 8 o'clock. Make sure you check that out. Sony Centric will be going live soon. We're working out all the
And that's the one
kinks.
call. And I need to do the needful.
This is true.
In the timely.
Do the needful.
And the timely. We're working out the kinks for Sony Centric, but Sony Centric Live will be making a return. Obviously down the line, but until then, you'll be getting pre-recorded Sony Centrics. Go check out for that. Make sure you also check out the Nintendo Entertainment Podcast. All Nintendo all the time. We usually don't know what we usually don't know what is going on with Nintendo from time to time, other than the
What is
Switch.
Nintendo stuff? Nintendo stuff.
Yeah, other than the Switch getting a firmware update that allows you to use a keyboard with your dock.
Pretty exciting.
It's pretty
Take that, Blizzard. Oh, wait, Blizzard the Switch. Never mind.
Then we also have the A1 podcast, which will be recording this weekend, so you're gonna get a chance to hear this one. The Strange and Wonderful recap. Myself and Tara will be talking a lot about Twin Peaks. You're gonna get You're gonna get the last two this week, as well as this week's recap. So we're catching up as we start to. We're catching up.
Ass catch 'em.
You know, funny.
Yeah, no, right?
Funny
Yeah,
man. You are funny man. So, Keith, final thoughts before we get the hell up out of here.
It's going to be interesting Q3, Q4 2017, but 2017 is actually shaping up to be yet another good year for gamers. Play the system that you want to play. Stop fighting.
Aaron?
Yeah, I fully agree. This is a great year for games. We have so many more good ones coming out, and it does not matter where you play them. Play the games. Have fun. Enjoy it.
My final thoughts. Fuck all y'all. Mario Odyssey's coming out. I'm getting that.
Oh, that game! I demoed that at E3. I stood in the line for it for a while, but that game is fun. But that game is coming out October 27th. It's the same day that Wolfenstein 2 comes out, and there's one other game that comes out that day. Assassin's Creed Origins, yeah. So that's going to be a busy day.
Keith, I know you're getting the new Wolfenstein. Please tell me you're getting the new Wolfenstein.
Get the new Wolfenstein after the Evil Within 2.
And the Evil Within 2.
Yep.
Yeah, man. I love the first one.
Oh, man. That's coming out Friday the 13th, bro. Oh, let's go. I can't wait for that game, bro. Like, oh, man. I want to get that game. I actually want to go in. Keith, I've only watched you play the Evil Within.
You should go buy it.
I think I want to go buy it on PC and play
It's cheap right now. Go buy it.
Next week when I get paid.
It won't be on sale next week.
Doesn't matter. Next week when I get paid, I'm buying it for the PC and I'm playing it because PC.
Yeah, I mean, this will be final thoughts, but it looks so much better than the first one.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Nah,
so much better.
Things come up, man. I'm telling you, PC Master Race. Let's go.
No, stop it. We don't do that anymore.
Oh, okay. PC slightly superior race. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen. Peace out.
Destiny is my destiny.
Destiny is your destiny, for real?
Of course.
Not surprised. Not surprised at all.
You should be. Some fries of that.
And a Coke to drink or something?
Nah.